Wednesday, August the 22nd, and this is your Barbados Today evening news update. So glad you could join us. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Agriculture Minister Inda Weir is not buying into suggestions that farmers will have to hike prices to cushion the impact of the new garbage and sewage contribution levy, which takes effect from this month. Households will pay $150 per day, while businesses will pay the equivalent of half of their water bills. Farmers contend that the new levy will push up their operational costs, but Minister Weir insists there is no justification for any price increases.
This minister will not be entertaining discussions on the basis that something has driven up a price, but I don't get the quantitative analysis to show how it has been impacted. You can't tell me that the Ministry of Agriculture continues to give incentives and rebates to farmers. The prices continue to go up, so the consumer doesn't benefit. And at the moment that the government introduces a tax, there's a hue and cry, but we don't get a complete, full quantitative analysis to see the impact of the inputs that are coming from the ministry. It is not the kind of conversation I want to entertain, not at all.
Meanwhile, Minister Weir acknowledges the concern about the new tax, but he said government will proceed with its implementation and analyze its impact before making a decision.
What the Prime Minister said when she went to Parliament with the mini-budget, the Prime Minister was very clear. Let us see the results first, and then we will go forward with decisions. But we don't chop and change and jump all over the place because somebody says so. This is not going to be the approach of this administration.
The Queen Elizabeth Hospital says last month's outbreak of the bacterial illness known as Barbados Today complex is now fully eradicated. Word of this from the hospital's head of infection control, Corey Ford, who is heaping praises on the hospital's capabilities to quickly detect and control these incidents. As a matter of fact, Ford explained that while outbreaks are commonplace in hospitals around the world, the QEH has one of the best surveillance systems in the region to handle such occurrences.
We have put all measures in place. I'll tell you today that we have no more cases since now for more than a month. And that speaks well to function within a system in an outbreak. There are outbreaks in some of the major hospitals in the world. I don't want to call names, but I'm sure if you go on the internet, you'll see them all pop up. In major hospitals, how do they deal with them? I think the recent outbreak, which you speak about, speaks well to an effective and an efficient program at the hospital, in that we're able to find, detect, isolate, and put into action strategies which allowed for us to have no more cases.
The Cabinet of Barbados has agreed that it will proceed with the introduction of the Disabilities in the Workplace Bill. Word of this from Home Affairs Minister Edmund Hinkson as he hosted children from his St. James North constituency and St. Peter today. He says the long overdue bill seeks to eliminate discrimination in the workplace.
For example, would, as is reasonable, have to retrofit the workplace to accommodate a person with disability, or they might have had an employee who became disabled in terms of mobility as a result of an accident, and whereas the situation as presently exists in a lot of cases that after a year you go before a medical board constituted by the National Insurance Scheme, and you might end up medically boarded, unable to work, and therefore a charge on the public purse through NIS, when nothing is wrong with your brain, your mental capacities, and you should still be able to work. All right. In fact, a lot of people with disabilities, visual mobility disabilities, are as brighter, more intelligent than people who don't have those abilities.
Barbados is now under flood warning until 10 a.m. tomorrow. At 3 p.m., the Barbados Meteorological Services issued the bulletin advising that a low to middle level shear line feature has been producing some pockets of moderate to heavy showers and isolated thunderstorms across the island over the past few hours. The Met Office said some sections of the island have already recorded rainfall accumulations of 1 to 2 inches, and it predicted that there could be similar levels of rainfall between tonight and tomorrow. The forecasters have advised residents in flood-prone areas to remain on alert and to take all necessary precautions.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. An aftershock measuring 5.9 on the Richter scale rocked Trinidad and Tobago this morning. It follows a powerful earthquake measuring 7.4 on Venezuela's north coast that shook TNT and damaged several buildings. Several people rushed from their buildings following this morning's shake, and the fire officials and police officers were seen across parts of the capital city conducting checks. Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith appealed to citizens to remain calm.
What the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is doing now is this is not so much in law enforcement. This is providing that avenue that is also important to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to ensure that they provide the safety, the security and the safety of the citizens of this country. So there will be many mobile patrols. It will be still in full force, and the patrols are there to ensure that there is that sense of comfort. If at any time members of the public require any assistance, they require any support, that is what they are there for. The lines are not down, so members of the public, they are fully aware of the numbers that they can call. It will be forwarded to the Emergency Operational Command Center, the E99 or the other locations. And from the police command centers, via the divisional heads, information is going to be fed in real time to the National Operations Center. As it is at this time, yes, there was an aftershock. We have no reports of any serious situation that took place. And what I ask the public is to remain calm. This matter is we have it under control.
And on the international scene, all eyes on Hawaii as Hurricane Lane, a very rare Category 5 system in the Pacific Ocean, barrels towards the islands tonight. The storm, with sustained winds of 160 miles per hour, is predicted to either graze or directly strike the islands in the coming days. More in this CNN report.
Storm packing maximum sustained winds of 160 miles per hour. Schools are closed on the Big Island and Maui. The state's governor has signed an emergency proclamation. This is just the second time on record a Cat 5 hurricane has come within 350 miles of Hawaii. Residents rushing to stock up on supplies and essentials at this hardware store ahead of the storm. CNN meteorologist Pedram Javahiri tracking the latest.
Good morning, Dave and Christine. Yes, we're watching Hurricane Lane very carefully. As impressive as it gets here on satellite imagery, very organized, very symmetrical, and of course, healthy Category 5 at that as well. And we do have hurricane warnings issued for the Big Island. Hurricane watches in place there for Molokai, Maui, on into Oahu as well. So certainly the National Hurricane Center taking this seriously. But the one element of good news is that we expect weakening as it shifts and tracks towards the north.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Now you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.